Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to the channel, my channel, and that channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. Welcome, welcome. I have another beautiful Italian pen, folks. We're now into the fall of 2025. Here in Canada, the leaves start to turn, and so you kind of get into the mood and you want some of these autumn colors. I know here in Canada, when the leaves turn and you get those yellows and orange and green and dark and light, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful when those leaves turn. And you know what? The pen I have for you today, I think it accommodates those changes in our weather. It's meant to be, I think it's got the autumn colors. It even has a title that's suitable to that as well. So without any further ado, Fountain Pen Therapy presents Leonardo's Momento Zero Grande 2.0 Sottobosco. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. Now, a little bit about Leonardo and where I stand with regard to this, Neapolitan pen maker. I've been very critical of Leonardo, notwithstanding all of the beautiful pens that pen maker has come up with. And I know they're very, very popular. Is that, the models were getting a little bit not boring, but it's the same type of models, different materials, mind you, but mostly what bored me were the nibs. And I just couldn't figure out, are we talking about Yowo nibs here, be it steel or gold? Are we talking about in-house nibs? La Fenice, is that an in-house nib? Was it made outside? And I just couldn't get a straight answer. I've written to them several occasions. I never got an answer. Listened to a lot of YouTube reviewers. Some people think the Yowo 14 carats are La Fenice in-house nibs when they're not, etc., etc., etc. I think I finally figured it out. And without saying that I'm going to go out and buy all of the Leonardo models, because they have all kinds of material. Wood, celluloid, resin. They even have an aluminum pen, ebonite, etc., etc., etc. I mean, there's quite a bit of variety, and they're all pretty nice. But it was the nibs that really concerned me, and because I wasn't getting an answer, I was getting frustrated. I think I finally figured it out, and one day I think I will prepare a video review of all the types of nibs that come out of the Leonardo studios. But for the time being, I think I've purchased just a gem of a pen. And I think that La Fenice number 8 gold nib, which I understand is in-house, if not totally, at least partially, I think now I figured it out. And I'm just dying to try this nib, and I just hope it doesn't disappoint. So without any further ado, let's go to my overhead camera. Let's see what I've got for you today. Okay, so here's the box. Beautiful color box. It's got a kind of a cardboard sleeve. Seen that before, I think. Then a hard box, big one, because this pen, I mean, at that price, it's an 18 karat number 8 gold nib. It does usually come with ink. So there's the box. Here's just a brochure, some information, or also how to fill that piston filler. So, and art and mechanics is an expression they use. So we'll put that brochure on the side here. Here it comes with ink. It came with this black ink, the new inks, by the way, which have that kind of Picasso motif, very nice. And the bottles are now squarish. They used to be this way. So these are the new. Now, are they new inks or just the bottles? I'm not sure. I think I'm going to compare. I'm going to do a video just comparing the two brands or the two branded different types of bottles, see if they have different inks. Here's this beautiful pen. Okay, we'll take that out. We will put this just here for the time being. Take a look at this, folks. This is just, I love this material. For me, it evokes history in the past because I've seen a lot of older vintage pens come in this material. Recently, we've seen also Scribo have this material in their pens. It's just gorgeous. It is a Momento Zero Grande, which I'm beginning to really like in terms of size. It's just ideal. It's not small, it's not huge, and unmanageable. It's just right in my view. So there it is. It's got this autumn color for sure, but I don't know if you can see it. You got that transparency in that resin, which is just fabulous. And in the light, it really, really is nice. As you can see, it's got that very flexible and manageable clip with the wheel that comes right out of that finial. It has that kind of pointed finial at the top and just slightly smaller at the bottom. Here's the end for that you can actually even see the transparency. You can see some of the piston filling mechanism. It's got 3 bands there and then 1 band on the barrel. Well, let's open it up and see how many turns. That's 1 1.25. So 1 1/4 to reveal this absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous nib. There it is. It's the, and I just want to see if you, get the right light there. La Fenice. Beautiful build. Beautiful nib. It's a medium. I thought I'd go with the medium. It is a 14 karat nib, but it's a number 8 size. Is it 14 or 18? Yeah, it's 14. With that very nice ebonite feed, kind of that flat model that you used to see in the vintage pens. Beautiful flare in the section. Just a little bit of a flare so that your hands don't slip down into the nib. The threads are just smooth. The transition, there's a little bit of a step up, but it's well done. In fact, it's got even a ring there, a gold trimming, and you can see your ink window very nicely. The piston, very smooth. And there's quite a voyage there. So, I'm sure we can put quite a bit of ink. Real challenge is going to be what kind of ink to put in here. I haven't quite decided, but that will be a surprise. We'll reserve that for later. Now, in terms of comfort, look at that, folks. I mean, it's a nice, large pen. Not huge, but large. Just nice. And that resin is not overly heavy, but there's enough weight to it to feel substantial and expensive, if you know what I mean. It's not cheap. Does it post? Absolutely. And you can see it goes way beyond the piston. Often pens just kind of get stuck at that piston, and then you You can, by turning it or by a false maneuver, you get the piston going and you create a mess. This one doesn't. It posts very deeply, very securely. Does it unbalance the pen? It does make it a large pen, but you know what? Very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. So those of you who insist on posting, not a problem. In terms of what we can see inside this, let's just go in there. You can see that there is a step that seals that nib. And of course you can see the translucency here. Take a look at that. Just gorgeous. Really, really nice. I mean, I am so thrilled about this pen and this particular. And you know what happened is that, I don't know if you guys saw it, I think I announced it in one of my recaps. And that's one of the reasons it convinced me. The regular price on this nib, on this pen right now, is 647.54 euros, which roughly is almost $1,000, if not more, Canadian. But if you bought it early and pre-ordered it, you got a percent, I think it was 10% off. So it was like $5.50 or something. And that's what convinced me to take the jump. And, that 10% discount on that kind of price makes a big difference. But even at the 647 euros, folks, I got to tell you, look, we'll test the nib. So far, I am very impressed. Very, very nice. Nice collection. Nice addition to my collection, I should say. So I think that covers the pen on the outside. What I propose now is that we'll do some pen and size comparisons, measurements, and then that highly awaited writing sample with that gorgeous nib. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back with the pen and size comparison. Feast your eyes on this. This for me is like candy. I mean, I've got some Neapolitan pens here, and then I pulled out my Grails just to give you an idea in terms of size of this subject pen here. So what do we got? Well, let's take a look at that. First of all, we've got here you have 4 Neapolitan or pens that are made by Neapolitan pen makers. First of all, you have the Maiora. This is the, what is it? The Impronte. If I'm not, yeah, that's right. The Impronte Posillipo. Posillipo is a part of town, part of Naples where, put it this way, where all the rich folks are. And it's up on the hill, so you can see the Vesuvius and you see the bay of Naples. This is a gorgeous pen. This is a Delta Napoli that was donated to me and donated to the channel by a very kind viewer. He or she knows who they are. This is the Gioia Partenope Ivory. Beautiful pen, just a gorgeous pen. So Gioia, Delta, Maiora, and Leonardo, 4 Neapolitan pen makers, where their histories and their beginnings kind of intertwine, if you will. I won't get into the whole story, and this is compared to this is a Pelikan M1000, so you could see the M1000, a big pen, and so is this Montblanc 149, and the Monte Zero is right there, or the Momento Zero Grande is right there in the mix. So here are the pens capped. Here are the pens uncapped, and of course the first 3 are the big size nibs. Now the Montblanc, they refer to it as a number 9. I think it's a number 8. You can compare that to the Pelikan, and now you can compare it to the La Fenice nib. You can see they're very similar in size. And then the other 3 all have number 6 size nibs, and they are all basically Yobo nibs, branded Delta, Gioia, and Maiora. So there you have the pens uncapped. Okay, here are the pens posted. Some are longer posters, like the subject pen, and the M1000 and the Montblanc. They post all securely and deeply, and yet you can see they're huge, but they can all be posted. So there you have it. That's a very nice comparison. We're done with the pen and size comparison. We'll put up some measurements, and we'll get to that writing sample. Okay, so we're back for the writing sample. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. I just hope that that number 8 La Fenice nib doesn't disappoint. First of all, the ink. I thought about putting a brown ink, but I think I'm going to go with a black ink. I just want this writing experience to be intense. And this is Nero Intenso, so it's black intense. I got a feeling that this black, anyway, I opened the bottle, and when I inked the pen, it looks a lot darker than a previous black ink that I had, which is this one, which kind of has a kind of a brownish tint to it. So I was tempted to put this one, but while I was at it, I wanted to try out their new black. So very nice ink. Anyway, very intense. So that's the ink. The paper I'm going to be using is Tomoe River. This is a Yamamoto, there you have it, writing pad with the original Tomoe River paper. So I've got quite a few. I've kind of, bit the bullet, so to speak, but I have some in storage. So that way I'm good for several years. Okay, so let's see what this gives. Oh, I stayed quiet because I wanted to let you appreciate how smooth this nib is. Without exaggeration, so let's talk about the nib. It is a number 8 La Fenice 14 karat gold, and it's a medium. The ink is Leonardo, black, and it's the intense black, if I translate the Italian. I've got to tell you, folks, that this medium nib, and one has a tendency to forget, but it's got to be, if not the smoothest, but one of the smoothest medium nibs I have in my collection. And I'll compare that to the 149, it's a medium. I'll compare it to some of the Watermans that I have that are really, really nice. I got to tell you, first of all, it's extremely smooth. It is very, very wet. Fast writing, it's a little bit like my M1000, where it has a tendency to run away from me. It kind of writes by itself, if you know what I mean. It is so smooth, very consistent. So if you're a fan of a pen that doesn't have a lot of feedback, this is this is definitely up your alley. If you prefer, for example, the Sailor King of Pens, or all Sailor nibs, gold nibs, that have that little bit of feedback, that kind of pencil feedback, this would not satisfy you. Okay? Very consistent. And, it's like feather. It's like writing with a paintbrush. Now, would imagine that maybe the fine nib would have a little bit more feedback. And if it's as smooth as this, it may be in my future purchases get a fine nib, because it's just perfect. Now, what else do we need to deal with? Oh, reverse writing. Well, that gives you feedback. You get an extra fine, a little too scratchy for my taste, to the point where I was just hesitating to go on just because I don't want to ruin this nib. And I don't believe in reverse writing. Not with a pen of this quality. You don't want to ruin the nib. Just, use it the way it was meant to be used. Likes and dislikes. Well, the build quality is there. So is the design. I love the Momento Zero Grande 2.0. The 2.0 does have the ink window. The size for my hand is perfect. The nib is 10 plus 10. That's how good it is. The comfort of the pen, I find 10 on 10. It's a piston filler, but a piston filler that I got to tell you, some pens, you turn that piston and you quickly come to the end. This one took a long time before it got all the way to the end. So I suspect that there's a lot of ink there. Now, so the piston with the ink window, I'm sure the website tells you how many, in terms of milliliters, this pen fits. Is it a go-to pen? Absolutely. 10 plus on 10. By go-to, I mean, is it a pen you could use on a daily basis around a table that doesn't, it's not too ridiculous in terms of its shape or its color? Absolutely. It's an eye catcher for sure. Dislike? Well, it's 647 euros, which is roughly, this is rough, $700 US, and roughly 1,050 Canadian. I just wish that some of these Italian pen makers would just make these pens more affordable so that more of us can enjoy them. Not everybody can dish out $1,000 for a pen. And so, not to say that it's not worth it, because there are cheaper quality pens and pens that don't give you the same writing experience that are a lot less. But it's in the same zone as an M1000. It's in the same zone as a Mont Blanc. It's in the same zone as some of the more expensive Auroras, etc., etc. So if you want that pen in a more affordable price, let me show you what I've got. So let me finish this first, because I do want to mention that you can get a similar writing experience at a much more affordable price. And let me just go to my computer. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is the Sottobosco, the pen in question. As you can see, it comes in extra fine, extra fine, extra fine, fine, medium, bold, or double broad, 1.1 stub. But you can get it in this other color, which is the Crepuscolo Marino, okay? You can also get it, let me just, maybe if I go back, here it is. Gives you the various options. This is a number 8, okay, steel nib, which is the new offering from our friends at Leonardo at 323. This is a steel, folks. This nib, I have one in an ebonite pen, is the best thing that Leonardo could have done. They're in between. So at 323, if I go back, you can get it. Oops. Let me just go back to. Yeah, you can get it with a Yowo number 6 nib, La Fenice branded, for 225. Or you can get it with a number 8 steel at 323. Or you can get the whole ball of wax with a gold number 8 at 647 euros. This middle ground at 323 is very, very competitive. Very competitive. So there you have it in terms of choices that are available to you. And if you can't afford that gold nib, try out that number 8 steel nib. It's got to be amongst my best number 8 steel nibs in my collection. And it's tempting me to buy other Leonardo pens. I'm fed up with the Yowo nib. It just, no number 6. I just have too many pens. But the number 8 steel gives me just a little more, if you know what I mean. Very smooth, excellent nib. And it's 323, so it's half the price. And worth every penny, worth every penny. So there you have it, Leonardo. I've been on their case for a while now, and so far with the number 8 steel and with this La Fenice in-house number 8 gold nib, they got me going again. They got me going again. Please subscribe, enjoy your pens, enjoy your family, enjoy autumn with this pen. Why not? Hey, go for a nice ride somewhere and maybe do a little bit of walking in the forest. Take out your journal. A nice sunny day, take out that pen and write a few pages. And tell me if that's not fountain pen therapy. Ciao ragazzi. Arrivederci.